This is Christoph Yalik.
This is Just Janet.
And this is K. Colley.
And this is
the Just Nuggets Podcast.
We got Nuggets basketball today.
Hey.
How's everyone doing on the Just Nuggets Podcast?
How you doing, K.
We got Just Janet checking in. Christoph Yalich.
What up?
How you doing today?
Fantastic. How are you doing today?
Doing well. We got Nuggets basketball and we got Sunday football, so it's a nice mix. But we're about 30 minutes away from the game on September 19th.
September.
I mean, wow. I saw it Sunday. I meant to say, November 19th.
There you go.
And the Nuggets will be playing the Cavs.
Okay.
6-6 Cavs to be exact.
Yeah.
Cleveland Cavaliers.
The mid Cavs.
Mid Cavs.
Donovan Mitchell and the boys.
Yeah, you can never doubt Donovan.
No, you can't.
Never.
As us Nuggets fans know, Donovan can always is good for 50 if he needs.
Yeah, he can.
He can fill it up. And they're ninth in the East right now, only a game and a half out. I know it is incredibly early.
I know.
Kyle just told us it is November, so we'll see how it shakes out in terms of they're 6-6 coming in here,
and we're 9-3.
Winners
behind.
Now we'll get into that in a second.
All right.
We're talking about Cleveland right now.
Okay, we're talking about Cleveland.
Cleveland has won 2 games coming in here, trying to make it 3 in a row. So obviously playing good basketball. I think the Nuggets should beat them. And when I say that comes in here, the Nuggets are going to their place. It's in Cleveland.
Because they're on the road trip.
Yeah.
Outside of Donovan, who are you looking at that may have impact, or who do we need to focus on tonight?
Is Mr. Darius Garland playing? Because if he's playing this evening, always. He had 28 his last game. Mm-hmm. He's always a threat. He's got that guard playing right now, as we'll get into. But the Nuggets are a little soft at guard, and he and Mitchell, what a backcourt that is.
So it's defense.
Darius Garland he'll cook you if you allow him.
Yeah. So what you're saying is we got to defend.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I mean, always, but we really.
Donovan's averaging 29 points this year. Darius Garland's got 18. You know who else is playing pretty well?
Who?
Karis LeVert.
Oh, I like
He's going to be out tonight, though.
He's out?
Yeah, he will not be playing. Oh, and Donovan Mitchell.
Fresh
off the press.
Wow.
Will not be playing tonight. So if it's just Garland, Nuggets need to bash them around a little bit.
Well, maybe our what's our title?
Life's a bench.
A bench, huh?
Yeah, the way things have been going a lot with the Nuggets has been a little struggle on the bench. So yeah. I'm glad you said that to that point. I think the Nuggets have a good chance of having a good bench night if we're saying Donovan's out.
Or you could play them and let them get some more, opportunity to go. So let's hope that's what happens. So.
No, we'll see. I mean, I think that's the case. Donovan's out. That's what it's saying right now. It just came across my. That's the little beep you heard was the notification. I think that they should win.
I agree with that. I think they have the opportunity to win with him.
I was gonna say if they was fully healthy, I think they should win.
Yeah.
Because like most teams in the league, they don't have an answer for Nikola.
No.
And as we saw on Friday again in New Orleans, this dude is immaculate.
Yeah.
He's a dog, and I think you lose words from what you're seeing, But to your point, Friday they were in New Orleans. Today they're in Cleveland. Monday, tomorrow, they're going to be in Detroit. Day before Thanksgiving,
right?
In Orlando. Day after Thanksgiving, Friday, they're going to be in Houston.
We
got a lot of good games.
Well, the good news is that we are playing the East right now. There's not sometimes those teams in the East are not as good. So like what you're saying with Donovan Mitchell being out, this should be a win for the Nuggets, and then they can take care of business tomorrow. But handle what they need to handle tonight. I also would want to look at somebody like Mobley. Is he playing tonight?
Oh yeah, Mobley.
So make sure he stays because Mobley's not gonna kill you, but he has the ability to have if you let him get going a little bit. But I do think AG is gonna lock him up pretty nicely. We'll put KCP probably on. Now we might be able to play him a little bit on Garland if Mitchell's gonna be out, and then I think we'll be able to slow down Garland.
It comes back down to always with this team, at least for this month.
Yeah.
What does the bench play like? What are you getting in those non-Jokic minutes?
What up with
those non-Jokic minutes are big. And trust me, I'm saying this facetiously because we are the defending world champions.
Sure.
We are 9-3.
Yeah.
But the Nuggets have lost 2 of their last 3 games. Are you guys seeing any wayward issues, or what would you say is the reasoning for that?
I think it's the bench. I mean, the starters seem to be fine, but they can't play the whole game. And Joker certainly doesn't play the whole game. And Malone is definitely monitoring his minutes, and I don't blame him. We don't have Jamal. Jamal's resting and should be. We don't want him back till he's good.
Don't want to rush him back.
No, especially with a hamstring.
No hammies, bro.
No. So we just got to, do what we do as best as we can to get through this. Like every other team, we're not any different than any other team in the NBA. There's a lot of people hurt around the league. But, we just have a goal, not unlike anybody else's. But our goal is to repeat. And so how you repeat, though, is to do well in the regular season, get what we did last year. We got to have home court. And so it's important.
Wait, so if the goal is to repeat, then our goal is unlike anyone else's in the NBA.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Yeah. So it's like, I think it's been the issue. I think it's going to be like beating a dead horse until a move gets made, Mr. Booth. It's this team's bench. Is it good enough? Even with Jamal fully healthy, that was still the question. I'm personally not a fan of Mr. Holiday. I don't think he's brought us anything to the bench. He's brought no lift. Maybe it's all not a view of the court and it's all in the, behind the curtain in the locker room and stuff and that practice. Sure, be it. So I'm not going to criticize that. But on the court, I think what's the best way I could say is
he played it like minutes.
Yeah,
2 games.
He's only. But my thing is when he was the one that you went out and got. No, that's right. Rightfully so, or it's not fair.
They repaid Reggie. That's what.
And Reggie's been hooping, but come on, you need it. But that's the thing. You needed Reggie plus someone, and that someone outside of the draft was this gentleman.
Yeah.
And if that's who he is, and you, like you said, we got a goal unlike anyone else's NBA.
Yes, we do.
To repeat.
Yeah.
You are stepping into a winning role, and I don't think he's done anything. I didn't think he was going to do anything, and he's proven me right. Sadly.
Well, I also think that CB was, in a way, that's what they're hoping for him to step up as that next guy. So you're thinking about Reggie.
And he did last night. We'll talk about it, I'm sure.
Yeah,
he had a great night.
He had a career high.
25.
Yeah, 25 against the Pelicans, and was playing well throughout the whole game.
If you could be sure that he would play like that every night, then we got something.
Or just at least the style of aggression that he's playing with.
That is,
looking to score.
Right. Yes.
Looking to work off of Jokic. Those type of things make a difference with CB. And I think he needs to get into the flow of the game early. Sometimes players need to see that ball going.
Right.
And he might be one of those players that he knows that he's defensively going to be pretty strong. But how can his offensive game have those moments?
It almost like last night, Friday night, it was almost like the light turned on for him. And I don't know what it was because he was doing well, don't get me wrong, but he wasn't doing over 20. He wasn't doing 25 or nothing like that. And so whatever he was seeing or feeling like, whatever, he needs to put that in a bottle and pull it out, as often as he can.
Yeah.
He's, we're not worried about him. Now, can we talk about Peyton?
I was going to, go talk about Peyton. Yeah.
Okay. I think Peyton has the capacity. I think he has the ability, and I just think he needs to find himself where he fits in on that bench. Yeah. And I think a lot of them are doing their defensive work. Okay, they try to do their defense, Najee, all of them, but they need some offense as well.
Well, that's what I would say about Peyton. Just one point is Peyton wasn't a big scorer in college, so I think when we see him play, we think he's got a bag, right? And he's learning how to play, but. What made him is what you see is you talking about his role. His role is defense.
Yeah.
So he's doing his role as a defensive player.
You have 5 people out there at one time.
He has to develop the offense.
You have 5 people out there at one time. Okay, we always have a veteran or a starter out there. It was Jamal, but now it'll be somebody. Let's say, I don't know if it's MPJ. I've seen MPJ out there. I've seen AG out there. Okay. So even KCP's been out there. So So with Joe, and we're talking about when Joker is not on the court. Non-Joker minutes. Okay, so we're going to have somebody who's on a starter. Then you're going to have CB always. You're going to have Reggie possibly always. And then you have Peyton and Najee. Okay, so if Peyton's playing defense, somebody else has got to always be looking to score.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's to Chris's point. I think that's where Calvin Booth's going to have to come in during the trade deadline, because I think we have a legitimate player in Reggie, and a legitimate player in CB. But I don't know if we have that 8th spot. And I think the Nuggets this year, unlike last year,
we went deep 10. We went deep
in the playoffs.
Yes, we did.
I don't know. I don't think you have that. Like, I don't know if CB is always going to be the answer every game in the playoffs. You may need that 8th guy that comes in and really makes a difference.
Yeah, and a lot of fans will be like, well, this isn't like last year. Like, last year we had this. You can't do that.
No.
I'm sure it's the easy thing to do. You got to look at each year and its individual silo. Sure. And this year, that production just isn't there at the moment.
Right.
And this is rich people problems. This is first world problems. This team is 9-3.
Yeah.
Like it's when the game gets very finite and each possession starts to matter, and who's giving you those minutes. Those non-Jokic minutes are the most important from any team in the NBA. By far.
Well, they say, okay, Joker's going in. I'm bringing in about 5 of my starters. I'm bringing all 5 of the starters in. I'm bringing in at least 3 of them.
Because that's when they make their run. And the Nuggets historically always kind of been a little sluggish in last parts of the first, early second, and that's where you're starting to see these runs. So they're like Friday and a couple other games earlier on where they have an early deficit and they're able to climb back into the game.
And
that's you know what that does? That's exhausting.
That's exhausting.
It's exhausting. And where you need that lift to carry you comes from that second unit. And to Kyle's point, they just don't have that next person. And I'm looking at my man Splits. When I say my man, I mean P. Watt. You know, you're -2 from the field overall. And in your time, you're taking about, it says about 3 shots per game.
That's not enough.
Not enough. I think.
And what's Najee's? Don't just do P.
One way to get involved in this rotation is to exert yourself.
Yes.
And it's kind of odd. He's born September 11, 2002.
Oh wow. So what about?
Nice
it is always What's Najee's thing, guys? What you think?
Just to end on Peyton Watson, he's averaging 4.7 points per game, almost averaging a block a game, which is nice.
He's doing his defensive work. I get that, and that's what but we just need them all to be two-way players. We need all these two-way players. We need to be defense and offense.
Mr. Board guy too.
Zeke Naji
your board,
Zeke Naji is averaging 3.2 points this season, and he's taken his field goals attempts. He's taken 2.5, and his rebounds 1.5. Oh, my bad. Completely sorry. I was reading a different year. 3 points. Same result, but 3 points, 3 attempts from the field, and 2.3 rebounds.
Yeah. So what we're saying is there's room to grow and room for improvement.
Yeah. I mean, he's getting 10 minutes per game. Last season, he was getting 13.
Yeah.
So that's obviously your production go down and your less minutes on the court. Yeah. Obviously, I'm just curious to see that is the key to this team right now, and it's very simple. And once more, it's a first world problem because we have the best starting 5 in basketball.
Absolutely.
Like it's hard to have a conversation about them. Like, how are they mixing and now this? Because Michael Porter Jr. is having a phenomenal season.
He's
AD they've increased. In Mario, when you go through a level, you get points added on, or Pokemon, when you win enough matches against your Pokemon are able to level up. That's what they've done. Yeah, they've leveled up. You know what I mean? And soon they're going to be a Blastoise. Yeah. Like they're evolving in front of our very eyes, which is beautiful to see. KCP, in my eyes, is the defensive player of the year by far.
Yeah.
So this team I'm not worried about necessarily, because I know in the playoffs you get small rotations anyway, so that means our 5 is going to be on the court more so. And the split. The other thing is when Jamal Murray's healthy, he plays out there at the second unit a ton.
Yeah.
And he kind of stabilizes, and I've heard Coach Malone talk about it, where he says, I need one of them with that unit. It's like either it's Yoke or it's Jamal. And I think Jamal
knows what he has.
Oh, absolutely
knows.
He knows what
he
and
has.
as we this is not breaking news to Nuggets fans. That the Nuggets are a lot better when Jamal Murray is on the court. It is a very simple, straightforward thing.
This is a mid-November conversation, because when Jamal comes back and he's healthy, then we have at least that bench is if the bench is at maybe we say 55, 60% solid rate right now, when Jamal comes back, at least gets to about that 80 range. But then we still may need a player, and that's the difference.
Yes, we do need that. But I guess what I'm saying is we should use this time to make changes and improvements and let the bench people, the players, know that what they need to do to step up to fill that gap, and that's what we're asking.
Outside of CB,
yes.
What bench player has shown you something where you're looking to say this guy
in one game?
It's always been one game for a lot of people.
In one game, it was Strother.
Strother's had a one game. Colin Gillespie's
had one game. Peyton Watson's had one game.
Jalen Pickett
had a game, yes. And Najee is consistently doing what Najee does, which we need one elevator. So they're trying to develop their draft choices. Mm-hmm. You know, these are all, everyone we said their names, they've just been drafted in the last, 2 years, maybe 3?
Except for Zeke.
Zeke, little 4. What is he? Do you know if he's been 3 or 4 years?
Yeah.
So we get why we find ourselves here, but we just don't have that veteran player. And it would have been Reggie. Okay, it would have been Reggie because he came in.
And it will be Reggie. It's just not
and it will be Reggie. But right now, we need him to be in the starting position. And you saw Coach Malone played around with that starting person for Jamal. He put in Pickett. And, he tried to do some things to see what was going to help. But now they're on the road. Everybody's bringing their A games. They got Nuggets circled on the calendar. And we're just getting the best of everybody.
Well, let me pivot this way because we've been kind of dodging this bullet. But the Nuggets did lose on Friday night.
They did.
And to the point that we're talking about with the bench and some of these issues. The other thing we didn't do that on Friday night was defense. I think the Pelicans had right under 70 points in the first half.
Yeah, it's 69.
69 points right on the first half.
Yeah.
Then we come out in the third and they stretched the league up to
20.
They went up to 20. So you're talking about just bad defense, and then even despite all of that,
the Nuggets as good. They're a team. They walked them all the way back.
Yeah.
All the way down, and then they were tired. I mean, I guess what else would you say that they would have had? They were tired.
We didn't hit a 3 when we needed it.
Yes, your legs were tired.
CB's playing well. Joker's he had a triple double for stat line that you would love to see
for the ages
in a win, but since it lost, you barely even paid attention.
Was 18 assists or something?
18 assists, 16 rebounds, and he right under 30 points or maybe
26 points.
26.
This dude's a dog. I mean, that is what it is. I still think. Yeah, we were dancing around at the Nuggets loss, but it's the issue is what we're discussing. The issue is going to be the issue until it's fixed.
We fix it. But the good news about Joker, just put on your hats to go back in time. One of those years, and I don't know if it was the last year or the first year when Murray got hurt. Joker had to carry the whole team, and he carried it every night, and he had this group of players he was pulling along with him. I don't kind of feel that necessarily now because our team is so good in my mind that now we're just worried about when he leaves the game. Okay, we're not worried about what happens when he's there, and even with the bench, if he plays with the bench, they seem to play a little bit better because they want to do well. I just think that we have grown, and we're now talking about a 2 opportunities in a game when Joker takes his minutes. If we can get that fixed, then we're back in my mind.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And I would say half of that comes to getting Jamal back, but the other half comes back to what me and Christoph have been saying, that I think a trade is going to come down mid-season where we need somebody that we get real excited about on that bench that makes a big difference.
And I hope that's a veteran player between the age of 25 and 35 who's a two-way player
that we can just trust.
Yeah, we can trust, and they know how to shoot a 3. They know how to get their own shot maybe or play in a system or whatever you want to call it, and they know how to defend because if they don't defend, they can't help us either.
Because I have nothing but trust in CB.
Right.
I've seen him do it on high level. Now, when it comes to offensively, we may need those points that he may not produce every game in the playoffs. Do I have faith in Reggie? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Reggie, I have tons of faith offensively, defensively, whatever. You know. But we need that last person, and I don't know if Peyton Watson's going to be it this year based on just how he's playing. Not saying defensively, he's there 1,000%.
No,
Yeah.
I think
offensively, I don't know if he has. He's developed that bag, and it's not fast enough right now to the point where we're gonna say, hey,
he's the guy.
These are our 3 guys off the bench in this playoff that we're gonna.
Because we lost 2.
Yeah.
We lost Uncle Jeff.
Yeah.
And we lost
who
Brucey
killed
B.
us against
Bruce B.
I know.
And we lost Vladko, who was actually
Kankar's not there.
I'm not saying
He would have
Vladko
been helpful.
He might have been the 8th guy. That's what I'm saying. That's how crazy.
So is he out all year?
Yeah, he tore his ACL. You don't remember that?
No, I do. I put it out of my mind.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
I think that's the kind of the tough part about the Nuggets this right now. That us 3, as well as the thousands, if not millions, because there's a bunch of
fans.
And the millions.
And fans.
Because there's now a bunch of bandwagoners that just became Nuggets fans.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show, guys.
Welcome.
That's the difficult issue we're having with this because it could be. It's like it's a bunch of could be's right now. It could be Pate Watson one night. Could be Julian Strawther. It could be CP. It could you don't want could be's. You know that's start 5. You know what it is.
Oh yeah, we know.
You know when someone's coming off the bench, insert name throughout the history of basketball. But if you want to make it closer and tied to this team, when Brucey B came off the bench, you knew what it was.
Yeah.
You knew what it was. You knew what time it was when Jeff Green was on the court.
Right.
They don't have that right now, and that's the fun part. And the cool part is they're still good doing it. If you want to go into not Nuggets, there's some other teams that are.
I have 2 more things before not Nuggets.
Okay, let's go.
One, there was a foul late game against the Pelicans.
It's always the refs' fault.
The refs came back and said on it. I mean, that wasn't a foul. My fault. It was a
out
bad
of bounds
call. Out of bounds call that they called on Jokic. They came back 2 days later or a day later and said, actually, we blew that call.
Too little, too late.
The Nuggets should have had the ball. The Nuggets are only down by 3. We did miss a couple of threes before that happened, so maybe we would have missed another one. But that's how basketball works.
Yeah, it does.
But it was a bad call by refs, and honestly, I think you could. At a certain point, you could always blame it on the refs. But the Nuggets, just as a whole, I think the larger issue is what we've been talking about.
And I've come, I'm gonna make you laugh. We can move on to the next section, but I'm gonna make you laugh. I've sort of come to the conclusion that Joker will never get the calls that some of these other big centers get, or forwards, like that Giannis gets, that Embiid gets, that some of the guards get. Harden gets more calls. I just don't understand it. And does he think he's just too big to have anybody bother him enough to foul him or something? It's just
Yeah, he needs to watch Joel Embiid clips and just see how's he moving.
I don't get it.
Because it's not like he's a perimeter big either. Jokic is down there banging with them. So it's like how you seen those memes on Twitter? It's like I think Giannis and Dame have had more field goal attempts than the entire Denver Nuggets team.
It's just
and
sad.
I just wanted to back up before we jump. This is late breaking news.
Okay.
You guys knew that Zeke Naji got a new contract extension back in late October. Yeah, 4 years, $32 million. So he's here.
He's here.
But it also makes it a viable trading piece because they know the contract they're acquiring.
Yeah.
So
I'm not even against Zeke. It's just that he's just not going to be necessarily the playoff.
But I don't know if they thought he was going to be there. I thought it was going to be Kangar that came off the bench.
It's
too.
not. I don't. We don't. I don't.
You reminded
with
me.
this team, I don't have a Will Barton necessarily, where I just don't want them on my team.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to be good, so we could trade them for a piece that fits better for the run.
Yeah.
That's where this team is. So I'm rooting for Zeke Naji as a Nugget, as I will when he's a XYZ team.
Yeah.
I guess I lied a little bit. Justin Holiday, I'm not a big fan. I'm truly not.
I know how he plays in general.
He's been on the court, but not.
How about this? What about the Nuggets versus Clippers? And just last point.
Cavs.
The Nuggets beat the Clippers, so I didn't.
In the win.
And it was an in-season tournament game.
I'll say this. I'll say Paul George always talk about bad shot selection. He's might be king bad shot selection. And then got the wedgie at the end, he shoots it. Thought he did something, and what a anticlimactic Reggie down the stretch of that game.
What would Vince Lombardi say?
Really. What the hell's going on out here? That's what he was saying.
Or he was
during
say,
that one.
we have 2 teams in LA that we're the daddy, so that's it.
Oh, you're talking about Vic.
Vic.
I'm sorry.
He said Vince. I was like,
Vic.
I got both the references.
Vic, I'm sorry.
Good.
Vic Lombardi.
I think
we have 2 teams in LA.
The Nuggets did well in that Clippers game. So
they always do well with them. They've been, keep your fingers crossed. I got my legs crossed, legs crossed. Hopefully that continues.
And the Clippers, they got a nice.
Oh wow.
Helter-skelter lineup going.
Oh my God.
They got 4
chaos.
Dudes. Yeah, at one point they had Kawhi Leonard playing Jokic in late minutes in the paint.
But Kawhi, Kawhi is so funny. I mean, I know we got to move on, but Kawhi is so funny to me. He wakes, it's like he sleep, and then he wakes up and steals the ball at the end of the game, and almost,
No,
Kawhi's the best.
Kawhi's one of my favorite players. Like straight up, like it's been the outside of Nuggets players.
Yeah.
Kawhi's been my favorite player since 2012, somewhere in there. Because he's just such an absolute silent assassin.
Yeah, silent assassin.
I really appreciate that about him.
Yeah.
I also really appreciate Anthony Edwards.
Oh my goodness.
I really
we can go into that.
We're gonna go into it right now.
We can talk a little bit about
that. Because they're what's their record?
Well, they're 9-3, like
tied with us, and they won. They beat us. That's why they're above us in the standings, even though we have the same record.
How about this? If we want to talk about Anthony Edwards, I think we should start by him not backing up his teammate Rudy Gobert while he's getting choked out by Draymond.
I mean, would you?
Yeah, I would have.
You would have for Rudy Gobert.
You wanted Anthony to be the enforcer?
No.
Cat was out there, and he's bigger than Anthony.
Draymond is literally choking.
But Cat is soft.
No.
Before we go in, let me just bring this all together.
He's tall and big. He could have did something.
Yeah, but he's also soft. Tall and big.
Golden State and Minnesota were playing. Basically, they played against each other twice in basically a week. The first game they played, Anthony Edwards and Draymond are getting into it, talking mess back and forth.
Sure.
So the game starts. First, not even a point on the board. And Klay Thompson gets into it with the guy didn't play in the series with the Nuggets. What's his name?
I don't know.
He didn't play last year, but that's who they are. Everybody on Timberwolves Twitter talks about if they had this guy, the Nuggets would have lost to him.
No, whatever.
But anyways, that guy starts grabbing Klay Thompson's shirt.
Nas Reed.
No, not Nas Reed. It's the other guy.
So tell us the story.
You'll look it up. You'll know exactly who it is. Anyway, so Klay Thompson and him get into a fight. They're fighting. Rudy Gobert does come over and put his arm around Klay. And I think that gave Draymond...
He put his hands... If you look at the tape, he put his hands on his chest. I'm not saying it was right. No. I'm not saying... But he didn't have a chokehold like Draymond.
Well, that's all Draymond... I was going to say, that's all Draymond needed to see. That was a make my day law. He saw him touch his friend. So. And Draymond puts his man in a full chokehold.
Yes.
And he's choking him. And that's why I said, this is the point I was saying. They must not like Rudy because if you look at the video, Kat and Anthony Edwards are right behind Draymond. If they wanted to, they could have grabbed Draymond, but instead they just let their teammate get choked out.
It's a thin line there because if you'd have grabbed Draymond and he got tighter, then Rudy might have got seriously hurt. And
then Draymond would have got seriously fined.
Yeah,
or
suspended.
Exiled.
Yeah,
so I don't think that would have been the case.
Yeah.
A quick thing, because I do want to talk about Draymond, but the in-season tournament, this Friday night game coming up against Nuggets versus Rockets is actually
at home, right? They're at home.
Yeah, it's at Houston.
Oh, it's at Houston.
It is actually a big game for the Nuggets and Houston because winner gets to go to the elimination. I know you shrug, and a lot of people don't.
I half care about the in-season tournament.
I mean,
I really don't care.
It would be nice. I mean, I know somebody's gonna call in and say this is terrible again because when I say they don't have to win or whatever. It'd be nice, but I think we got bigger fish to fry. It's called the bench. We got to figure out how to play together when
I guess I'm saying tune in on Friday because it is. Yeah. It's not a meaningless game.
Winner
goes into the next
going
one.
Over here, the league got this going on, but the Nuggets got to get this, get going and get their. Not that they're not 9-3's not getting going. I get it, but they got to fix this so we could win. December and win January and win February. That's all I'm saying. I get the end season tournament. I think it's wonderful. The floors leave much to be desired. Some of the uniforms leave much to be desired. But, it's good for NBA in November.
Yeah.
It helped. People tuned in, watched games that they made.
Friday's a big game. Sorry to get us on a tangent, but that's what Friday's big game. To the Draymond piece, I mean, I'm happy everybody's healthy and no one got seriously injured. That being said, Rudy had that coming, bro. Rudy had it coming. It's hard for me typically to be on Draymond's side, but this man went for Klay's neck. He did, straight up. He did. And
he fell short like everything else, I guess you'd say. He didn't get close enough to the neck to put the
but if you're coming down and you have that charge and you already don't like the person.
Yeah.
Rudy Gobert been in the league for, I don't know, 10 years. Draymond been in the league the same amount of time, if not more. I think they came in around the same time. He knows exactly who that dude is.
Yeah.
Already had bad beef.
Yeah.
And he ain't been waiting for this moment. He said, I'm taking out this Frenchman.
Well, he got 5 games. He got 5 games.
He got 5 games suspension. And as I said, if his teammates don't like him, you know what Draymond think of him.
Yeah,
Draymond
facts.
got history.
These are facts.
And it was Jaden McDaniels that was the guy.
Oh, that Jaden.
And that's the dude who was
So
gonna.
he was going to be
if
the
they
one
had
that
him,
was going to take care of the Nuggets.
Cook the Nuggets.
And
I
but-
think we can go into that because
And now, how many games did they win in the playoffs? Just 1, right? So they might have won a second one if he was
essentially
in.
is what they're
Is
But-
that what they're saying?
But let's not do this because I hate that I'm defending him because I hate the Timberwolves and I despise
talk
Tim
about
Conley.
Timberwolves now. Go ahead.
I really do not like Tim Conley.
Mm-hmm.
However, they do have a good team, and out of the 4 teams we played in the playoffs, they're the team. They're the team that was like, okay, they're on their way. They're on their way. We're gonna see them soon. I think if the playoffs started now, if it's a 3-6, 4-5, hell 2-7, and it was Minnesota versus the Kings, that'd be an interesting playoff round to me.
Yeah.
And I would say Minnesota wins that.
Okay. Well,
100%.
they're better.
They're
gelling.
they took
they're
a
the
they took
same
a higher
team.
step. They took a
Yeah.
higher step than the Kings did,
Yeah.
in my eyes, because Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
This dude is
Yes.
starting. He's starting to take into like
Yeah,
a deity form.
Yeah, he's
where I
really-
mean, like he's becoming
Him and
Jordan type
He's like Maxey.
killer.
Are they about to
Maxey-
say, are they to say Maxey in Philadelphia? Let me for the audience.
Tyrese,
Tyrese Maxey. He's balling out of this world this season too, and so is Ant-Man. But is it because are they about the same age or they're just?
And let me just back up, Chris. Don't put Anthony Edwards in no Michael Jordan conversation.
No, I said Kobe too, but what I'm saying is he's that wing. He's a number 1 overall pick. He has all this stuff.
Don't make me hate on Ant. I'm just saying, come on, bro.
Bro, no. What I'm saying, he's getting cooked from that cloth where it's like the game's in control. I'm going to take this
from
over.
that perspective.
He has that
same with
absolute
Giannis
killer.
last night, and when he hit a jumper and made it.
But Giannis is already stamped. We already and
2 MVPs.
And why I said those 2 specifically is because he's a wing guard.
Yeah.
You can say whatever it is, like. Okay, he's not that type, but he's starting to go down that road, the same road that Kobe traveled. It's a dog energy. That's all I'm saying.
he has dog.
that, and he's going towards it, and he's following that force of nature. And if he gets to its final destination, he can be an all-time great. That's all I'm saying. I'm sorry to compare him to Jordan. I'm just saying that Jordan, that's the archetype. You know what I mean?
You're saying he's a good basketball with dog in him. That's it. That's basically what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm
Jordan
putting
and
hyper.
Kobe-
Sorry.
Kobe and Jordan are such a rare breed. It's hard to just throw their names. You know what you basically did? You know, like on the
Bro, he was the number 1 overall pick. I'm not playing him for Tito.
I know. I'm just saying.
You're supposed to put those grand expectations on a number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
Can you guys? Somebody look and see when did Tyrese Maxey come into the league? When did Anthony Edwards come into the league? And their ascension seems to be elevating right at the same time. So it's going to be, and they're on different, conferences. So it's going to be really good.
Maxey's excellent this season.
Maxey
and Halliburton's.
This is 3rd year in the league.
Yeah, Halliburton is too, and that's where Bruce B is. That's Indiana, right?
Yeah, they all are kind of in that same space where they're playing really well.
Right, and so
they're both in the year 3. So it looks like they're probably in the same draft.
Yeah, same draft.
Just guessing here.
And then Halliburton was about
maybe
there
the year after.
Maybe.
Yeah. Halliburton has got a lot to come back from me. Halliburton was in the same draft. So Edwards went 1, Halliburton went 12, and this is the 2020 draft. And then Maxey
was I think he was 20 or something. He's teens. I know the Nuggets. I think he was in the teens or something. I know. Well, if they had him on the radar.
Yeah, I don't know if we would have drafted him.
He was 21 overall.
Yeah, I think he was 20.
So you had that's actually one of those drafts that was like it was loaded with talent. So you got Halliburton at 12.
And Ant was 1.
Ant was 1.
Yeah.
And you have Maxey at 21. And then you even have LaMelo Ball at 3.
Yeah.
So LaMelo Ball is a really good. And Vassell.
Right
Nuggets and this was actually one of those stacked drafts because I like quickly. Who did the Nuggets get here?
Did they get R.J. Hampton right there at the 20?
They got Zeke Naji.
Naji.
And R.J. Hampton. Yeah R.J.
Naji
Hampton was at 24. So those dudes were gone by the time they had that, but they could have gotten Desmond Bane
There's such a thing
and
as trading
Emmanuel
up.
Quickly. So.
There's such a thing as trading up. But, it's neither here nor there.
And it's not really like, if you look at the draft there, Zeke Naji is the best center at that point.
Yeah.
He really is. So if you were going for that archetype, that center type style right there, you got the best one.
He's better than last year, no question. I mean, he has. I understand why he's a backup to Joker because of many factors, and so it's fine. I mean, we just have to. We're just encouraging you to do better. That's it. So who else in the league other than the Timberwolves and
Timberwolves
Warriors
look like a good basketball team. Warriors,
Clippers. We talked about
and Golden State and OKC had a solid game last
Golden
night.
State, OKC.
Golden State kind of blew it. They were up almost about 20 points or right around there, and OKC came back.
What do you think about the Suns?
Chet hit a really big three. Chet hit like a turnaround three. They sent him in overtime, and then they won.
What about the Suns?
Suns right now are in the 8th spot. So to Kristaps' spot, if the playoffs ended today, Timberwolves would be playing the Suns first round.
Oh, that'd be good. Not that it matters, no.
That'd be interesting. I think what's interesting is the Nuggets and Timberwolves always have this crash course. I thought at least for us. But now with Golden State and Timberwolves getting into it, I think the world wants to see Golden State and Timberwolves more than they see the Nuggets versus.
I was being facetious when I said it, but I really would be intrigued by a Sacramento versus Timberwolves playoff series.
But the way it looks, I think Kings are going to be right in that middle.
Well, all those little 4 teams that's like, to me, Oklahoma City, Sacramento, Minnesota, Warriors, I guess you could throw them in, or Rockets. Or I have to see a little bit more of Houston.
I'm just saying, the Rockets right now.
Yeah, they're the 6th seed.
They're 6-4 right now.
Yeah, you have to look at who they played.
Well, we'll see them Friday.
They beat the Nuggets, so don't claim us Tito.
You know who beat the Nuggets. Uncle Jeff beat the Nuggets.
But he is a Rocket.
I understand, but he did.
He got us late.
Yo, I got a quick point I want to bring up really fast. Bones Highland didn't get a ring.
He did or did not?
Did not get a ring from the Nuggets organization.
Yeah, that was tough because they even asked him right before. They said he wasn't going to get a ring. And I don't know. It's one of those things. It's up to the team whether they're going to give you a ring.
No, I get it.
Would you have given him a ring?
No, that's the way it ended. I probably wouldn't.
Jays, would you?
He has the right to a ring. If so, I guess maybe I don't know how that works in the sense of
he was on a team.
If you're on the team,
and he contributed to the team in 82 games.
But if I was Bones, I wouldn't want a ring.
Yeah, but
that's the difference. If I was Bones, I wouldn't want the ring.
What about you, Jays?
I think that it's up to the Nuggets. They made their decision. Number one, if it was me and I was running, I'd give him a ring. I'd take the high road, but it's just that's how I live life, but I would have taken the high road.
Hell no, I wouldn't have given.
I know you would.
Next conversation.
Yeah, let's go into the 2 minutes remaining.
2 minutes remaining.
2 minutes remaining.
So Draymond, obviously, we were kind of talking about that. Draymond gets into a fight. It's also.
Is this his first fight?
No. I think so, actually.
Is it this year or no?
No, I think in his life.
This year.
In his life. Draymond's never gotten a fight.
He's had a nice run even this year.
This man.
However,
he'll punch a teammate if
if
provoked.
And that's what I was going to go into. So it's the 19th anniversary of the Malice in the Palace.
Oh, goodness.
And if you all remember the Malice in the Palace, it was the Indiana Pacers, Detroit, big fight.
Okay.
Big fight. Go look it up on YouTube if you missed it.
Oh, yeah.
So, in honor of that, and in honor of this Draymond, what have been some of your, I don't know, maybe not favorite, but what has been your most memorable
Well,
NBA
as a Nuggets
brawls?
fan, it's the one with Carmelo and, where was he? The Garden.
He was at Madison Square. The Mecca.
The Mecca of, and then here we are, and
that's
I guess.
That's where Ali and Frazier fought.
Oh, yeah, right. And then, J.R. Smith gets, starts up, and then here comes Melo, and then it's just a big, gigantic.
And Nate Robinson.
Didn't Isaiah Thomas, Zeke, of the Pistons legend, he was coaching the Knicks at that time.
Yeah.
And told Melo, don't go in the middle. Remember that?
Oh, something like that. Yeah.
Because they were up, crazy. I think the Nuggets were up by
no, you're right.
Close to 20 points, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, don't.
And he told him during the free throw, was like, don't go in there. Yeah. Because he's like, I instructed my team to start a fight. Because, my favorite was when Larry Bird and Bill Laimbeer went at it. And as for mentioned, Zeke, Isaiah Thomas, his teammate and fellow bad boy, Bill Laimbeer, with a patented cheap shot on Mr. Larry Bird.
Yes, he did.
And Larry Bird did not take kindly to it.
No,
I want to say it was in the 88 or the 87 Eastern Conference Final, so it was the biggest stage of the game.
Right.
So from the Pistons game plan, and when you hear theirs, once more, recipes, Brendan Malone, like they would take you out.
Yeah.
Like they said, if I can get Larry Bird to get thrown out this game
we can win.
in Game 6,
We can
that
win.
helps us.
It does.
So Larry Bird came down the middle, passed it out to, made the good pass to the open shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow the ball gets swung back around to him, now open,
Yeah.
left covered underneath the basket. He goes up. Lambeer comes
Out of
clotheslines
nowhere.
him.
Yes, out of
Clotheslines
nowhere.
him. His legs fall under him, all sorts of stuff. And then when Bird's on the ground,
And
starts
Lambeer's
punching him.
not a small guy, is he?
Oh, not at all.
Oh,
He was
my big dude. Yeah,
6'10",
center.
6'11", yeah. Definitely one of the original stretch
Larry Bird's
centers.
forward, so
Yeah, so he's on there on the ground. He starts punching him. But what takes it to that next level, in my eyes, is when the ball, like they get everybody out of the way and everybody to their own sides or whatever. The refs are sorting out. The ball must have just been like down by Larry Bird's feet. He picks it up and flat out just chucks it right at Lambeer, hits him in the face.
And he hit him because
he
Larry
absolutely
Bird
hit him.
could
There's
whatever
an
he wanted to
angle,
hit. Right,
exactly.
sure.
There was an angle where
Wow.
you see it clearly,
Yeah, that's a
clear
good
as
one.
day.
That's a
But
good
that
one.
one is classic. Or the bird at Dr. J's throat. That just the imagery of that one is iconic.
Another funny one was Nikola Jokic and Ishpa.
Oh.
Just last
Yeah.
year.
I think it's say Nikola in
No, not
in the Morris.
The
Not the Morris one. When Joker and the owner of the Suns getting into it on the sideline, that was kind of funny. It wasn't a brawl, but that joint was just funny.
But Joker was right. I mean, don't hold the ball when the game is
he's
still
like,
going
you a
on.
fan?
You're a fan?
Is he a fan? Because on the sideline.
Right. He was a fan.
Which is absolutely correct.
He was absolutely correct.
My favorite non-fight, actual fight. It's the Malice. Even though I literally said
You can't say the Malice. You can't say the Malice.
Malice is the best.
It's rated. It's the best.
Yeah. And
Name another one. The one you always see LeBron. I mean, not LeBron has never been in one.
Yeah, LeBron and
LeBron's been in it?
Stewart, the dude from Detroit, when that was all bloody and running.
He had some with Dwight Stevenson back in the day too. If you want to go back to that, because that was the first rivalry I remember LeBron being in.
Lance Stevenson.
No.
Oh, I got what you're saying.
Yeah, from Washington.
Well,
Because remember they played each other in the playoffs a couple times.
Oh yeah, they had
and
some ish.
that was one of the first rivalries I can
Yeah.
remember. LeBron being in against another team. It was
Right.
then the Cavs versus Washington. They did not like each other, and it was because Stevenson was talking all sorts of mess.
Yeah, that guy. I can see that. Finally, did I hear that something's going on in Chicago?
Oh yeah, that wasn't really a fight necessarily, but like this dude stormed out the. When I say this dude, Zach LaVine stormed out the court. And what did you say? December 8th.
Today.
This was last night.
Like December 6th or 8th, you can start making some of those trades.
Oh, so he's showing us that he's available.
Oh yeah.
Or wants to be available.
Or he's done in Chicago because this was after a win. He stormed out the court. Past the PR lady was pissed. So
that we didn't know what happened. We didn't see it.
I'm sure the story is trickling out as we speak. If you check your local Chicago papers, I'm sure you can find like the skinny on it. But like moral of the story is, you look that upset after a win, and I know it's just bad optics. And I know that you guys are 6-6 and not the best of teams over the last couple of years. As a Nuggets fan,
fight your way out.
Yeah, that's fight your way out for sure. Like as a Nuggets fan, I don't know if he fits / we have the assets to trade for him.
Money for him, I don't think. He's
I would
one of
say
the
the
best players
assets
on that team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do a rental, so the money is not really the issue right now. I think it's more of like what you're trading to get him back. And
But is it 3 or 4? Is he a 4? What is he?
He's a 2-3 hybrid.
2-3. Well.
In a perfect world, we'd figure out a way, but
absolutely.
But that means we got him for nothing. Like they got released and we picked him up off waivers, which isn't gonna happen.
No.
Well, the Nuggets are about to tip off. If they
haven't already.
They're playing again.
They tipped. I'm sure they did.
They're playing the Cavs.
Yeah, they probably have tipped. It's 4-12.
Nope, I didn't see the Nuggets have scored the first bucket too.
Okay.
Who scored it?
It's 4-4 currently.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll tune out. It's been a great podcast.
It has.
From the Just Nuggets podcast.
Thank you, K-Dot. Thank you.
We're gonna go watch the Nuggets.
Yes, we are. Right now.
All right. Let's see the Nuggets win.
Yep. Go Nuggets.